So, two different people have dropped documentaries very, very recently. One of those people are Shawn Mendes, and one of those people are myself. I produced one and directed one. If you haven't seen Shawn Mendes' new documentary, In Wonder, then you should go see it because it is an amazing piece of story that really, really just brings tears to your eyes with the memories and the moments that they used with the cinematography and editing. They did a great job editing it. If you don't know why this new documentary is even on Netflix, well, Shawn Mendes is actually doing this as a marketing strategy to bring awareness to his new album. That being next month, early December, and so he kind of brings us into his world, especially the world of him and Camila, that I really enjoyed because I'm a romantic. I don't know, I like watching that cheesy, in the moment type of stuff of love. But it wasn't just that. He showed some amazing shots of him playing the guitar, being on tour, the bus, things like that with his friends. Like, he shows us a lot of his life and how it affects the album process of his. And a lot of that process I really enjoyed watching because I frankly love Shawn's music, and I really think that the maturity and the kind of elegance that he's bringing into this new album, at least from what they showed in this documentary, it is beautiful. Like, I love his music, and you probably do too if you like a sort of kicked back, groovy John Mayer type of vibe. And especially that vibe of him taking us into the arena with himself, where he is performing and doing shows, and it just shows a big empty space that is, well, going to be packed full of people that love him. So I thought to myself, I'm really inspired by Shawn Mendes and his documentary approach of marketing himself, and I really love his Spotlight series of how he goes about going on tour and things of that sort. It's just a shorter documentary. It's actually directed by Casey Neistat. He's also behind the camera. I do freelance videography for music artists myself, so I could really see myself doing things like this for a Shawn Mendes type of person. I'm already doing them for my friends that are really, really creative and amazing, not necessarily going on tours with them. However, I do make documentaries around them and their performances, just like these guys did with Shawn Mendes, following him around with these big cameras and just really recording the moments of life and showing that as the beauty of this film. That is exactly what I did with my friend Treyzis, or Trey, where I interviewed him and asked him a few questions, but I also told the story of his first ever live performance that was at the school that we went to university to. So there was a lot of people to kind of break his music atmosphere with, because anytime someone drops some new music that you want to be in the pop mainstream culture, well, you want to make sure that it's around the age at which, well, they're going to chart for, right? So it was also really amazing to follow Trey around and just see how he interacts with the fellow artists and see how he performs on stage. Like, stage presence is really, really huge when you're an artist. So just being in his face and watching him do that was really riveting and moving for me. Just like it was watching this Shawn Mendes documentary. Like, I can see the parallels, and I hope that you do too.
You first get on the stage and ego comes rushing in. And it goes, don't mess up. And then about 30 seconds in, you go, oh yeah, I'm just a guy and I love music.
But the parallels at which I could really see myself doing something like this for an artist. One of my friends named Roman Rouge, he actually is kind of coming up in the music scenery, getting streams and whatnot, growing his audience, and he is not too far away from going on tour, or at least establishing himself enough to be able to sell tickets to go on tour. Well, we did a music video recently that is still being edited by the director. So artistry and working with music artists is really part of what I do freelance work with. That is one of the main things that I gain profitability with. But not just making documentaries and music videos about the artists, like this documentary with Shawn, and how they actually even showed him in New York City. That is one of my favorite places in the world, and I actually plan on moving everything over there to kind of build my company even more so. So I thought that was amazing, how he just kind of is there with Camila, and they're just living life, because that's the beauty of documentaries, especially getting these like genuine moments with Trey, and just a few laughs, walking towards the stage, just kind of learning about his merch and things of that sort, and his songs. He talks about that as well. Yeah, one of the really big parallels that I saw within my documentary and the Shawn Mendes documentary was that, well, I kind of got a talking headshot of Trey, where he is just letting us know what's going on. He's kind of narrating his own movie. And they also do this with Shawn, not necessarily in narration, but they do voiceovers, and he tells a story of these moments in life and how they affected him and his music, and how Camila is, well, all of his songs are about Camila Cabello. And like I said, the romantic sap in me was just I had a moment with him. But that's really one of the things that I was heavy on for this documentary that I made with Treyzis, is cutting back and forth and letting the story tell itself as in a continuously moving pace of time. And that is exactly how they told the story of Shawn Mendes. It kind of started off when he was really young as well. They showed him in between moments of building his career with the stage, and him talking about how it affects him. Like in the beginning, one of the beginning shots is him just with this flushed look on his face when they asked him about his Vine days and maintaining that innocence throughout, well, his celebrity status days that are current, today, present. He's presently famous. However, 5-6 years ago, he was not famous. He was making Vine videos in his smaller bedroom and just waiting until something came along of his manager helping him build his career and then actually losing his voice. That must have been really hard too, dude. Like, I'm sorry that you lost your voice and had to cancel all that, well, what was it, like 50, 60,000 people that were waiting outside for you? Like, I, as a filmmaker, can definitely see myself telling these stories. Maybe it's about Treyzis or Roman Rouge or whoever, really. I love telling my own stories, but I also love telling the stories of other people and how life affects them, because I feel like I really have an eye for that type of thing, and seeing, well, these nostalgic and genuine moments in people and their stories and their journeys, because that is one of the main reasons why I started filmmaking in the first place. Well, giving people the exact feeling that I felt while watching Shawn Mendes in his documentary, that feeling of nostalgia, and bringing people into the movie with you, letting them know everything about your life, as far as you want them to know. Not everything, but the most genuine and authentic moments that the fans can connect to. I feel like Shawn Mendes really did that with his documentary, and did it very well. I think he has that sort of aesthetic and presence to him, that genuine, humble approach to everyone that he meets and interacts with. I mean, who else do you know will sit in the stadium at which they canceled tour and just cry with their mom on the other side of the phone that they are on video chat with? I don't know many artists that are that genuine. A lot of artists just kind of might cancel the tour or the show of a tour and forget about it, go on to the next one. Like, yeah, man, things happen, whatever. I don't know. I just feel like this Shawn Mendes documentary is going to be one of the best things on Netflix at the moment. So if you have not watched it, go watch it. You might tear up a little bit. You might feel really nostalgic. You might love the cinematography or editing if you are a videographer or editor or filmmaker. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little parallel between my documentary of Treyzis and his rap and his performances versus Shawn Mendes and his touring career. I hope you have gotten some value out of this video. I hope you have a good day or night, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.